Oh, hey guys, welcome back to Semajical Reviews. Yeah, where it's time to not review Mission Impossible 4 to 6. If you saw my recent update video on that, you'll know why. But this was the original plan for this episode before I changed it, so I changed it back. Lilo and Stitch, the classic Disney animation from 2002. So, what's this film about? Well, Lilo is a 6-year-old girl who comes from a broken family after the death of her parents in a car crash. And so she's left in the care of her 19-year-old sister Nami. And they both find it hard adjusting. Lilo, because, well, some tragedy she doesn't understand has just happened to their parents. And she needs all the love and support she can get. And Nami, because she's found herself now saddled with being a surrogate parent to her sister, having had to give up her job to look after her, and basically, well, her entire life to look after her. And now we have a social worker tailing them. And also, this is where an alien lands in Hawaii and is adopted into their home and named Stitch. Well, the Galactic Board, or the Galactic Patrol, have sent Jumba, Stitch's creator, after him to recapture him, because he's dangerous. And, well, Stitch is actually sent there with the intent to destroy the humans at first, but after Lilo shows him love and compassion, he changes his programming and understands love. Now, the hidden meaning is in the title of the film itself. Lilo, meaning broken, a broken family, and Stitch, well, he comes and stitches them back together. And I found this to be quite a wholesome story and an enjoyable film. Now, guys, I'm sure most of you would have seen this already, so I didn't see there any point in being a spoiler warning at the beginning. But for those who haven't, I'll recommend you go and watch it. So, guys, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a magical time. And join me for the next review, which will be for Deadpool and Wolverine. Okay. Until then, bye. Hey guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews for another review. Now, I'm sure you're all wanting to know what I thought of Deadpool and Wolverine, a film that I went over the summer with Darren to go and see. Well, here we are now. um, in October. Yes, about 3 months after we'd gone to see the film. And this is that review. so, so a brief synopsis without without spoiling it for you. This film is basically a team up between Wade Wilson, aka Deadpool, played by Ryan Reynolds, and Logan, aka the Wolverine, played by Hugh Jackman. And the Wolverine in this is his comic book counterpart in live action form. And the team up is nothing short of amazing. There's loads of superhero slash there's just loads of action in this for a Marvel film. It is Marvel as its true form, and this was my first time watching anything with Deadpool in it properly as well. So, yes, I know this is the third Deadpool film, but it was the first one I ever saw. And no, guys, I am not going to give away the ending. You'll have to see it for yourselves if you haven't seen it yet. But I'm sure most of you have by now. Word of warning for you, though. It is not a children's film. So, parents, if your children are younger than 15, don't let them watch. Yeah, there you go. Because, content warning, there's lots of swearing and violence in this film. So, my opinion, though, of this, I've just said it was amazing. And, well, I think it's time to wrap up this review now, before things get too rambly. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. There will be another episode on its way soon. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to be reviewing next, though. You'll have to wait and see. Until then, though, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have us a magical time. Hi guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, where it's now time to dive into the world of another YouTuber, Adam Martin, or AMTV, is the subject of tonight's review. Now, Adam Martin is a British YouTuber who runs the AMTV network here on YouTube. What is the AMTV network? Well, it encompasses his main channel, AMTV, Adam Martin, and then there's AMTV Now and AMTV Who, his Doctor Who and Now channels now. So yeah, you can tell he's a big fan of the Now music CDs, the Now series, the Now That's What I Call Music series, as he's done over 200 episodes of the Now Review at this point. It all started in 2018 with a review of Now That's What I Call Movies, one of the many spin-off albums the Now brand has released. And from there, he's reviewed every other album he could get his hands on, from all the number ones right through to other spin-offs. And, well, his Doctor Who content is also aplenty. He's a lifelong Whovian, and he has done a series that details the viewing figures of every era of Doctor Who, from William Hartnell through to Sylvester McCoy and Paul McGann, and even charity specials like The Curse of Fatal Death and Dimensions in Time, which was the weird Doctor Who EastEnders 30th anniversary crossover. 30th anniversary crossover for Doctor Who, that is, in 1993. Okay, now other big series he's done on this channel have included, and this is still running by the way, the Idem Review. And to this day, he has done almost 120 of those. And besides the Now Review, the Idem Review is his other biggest show. Simple enough, the concept of this, he just looks at and reviews idents from all kinds of different TV channels. Right from the BBC all the way up to cable TV channels like MTV. You name it, he's done it. Another show that he had on his channel for quite some time was the Sunday Catch-Up, which is basically, well, what it sounds like, a catch-up show that he did every Sunday that allowed his viewers to ask him questions. Well, that format came in about 6 episodes into the show. And yes, on my old channel, I managed to get featured in one of those. Okay. I had one of my I had a question asked. I had a question answered. So some other shows he's done over the years on the channel: Millionaire Moments, a show where he looks at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire games, A Brief History, which he still does from time to time, a documentary series in which he briefly goes over the history of certain things like Brum and Jermaine Stewart and the history of CFAX, and even to celebrate his 10,000 subscriber milestone, he did one on himself. Recently, because this year's the 25th anniversary of The Tweenies, which is a preschool kids TV show over here, he's done a documentary about The Tweenies. Also, he's done a series called Video Scaries, which is what it sounds like, where he picks something of the dark and macabre nature, well, not just of a dark nature, and reviews it. Like, so I mean, like, people might have found scary, like video idents or anti-piracy adverts and public service announcement films. Yep, he's done all that. And those are just some examples of the things he's covered on that series. And a short-lived series he's done, Overthinking, where he overanalyzed children's media. Okay, now, there is a whole range of stuff to cover across all of his, or across everything he's ever done. And if you've looked at some of his most recent updates, you'll hear that he's actually, because he's an actual professional actor as well. Yeah, it's his job to go out and act in plays and or do things to do with acting. He's had a bit of trouble maintaining 3 channels, and he was thinking about lightening his workload and ceasing production for the other 2 channels. But those updates, he does these updates at the end of every year, normally announcing the current state of play for his productions. But this was like an announcement he did earlier in the year. Now, as far as I'm aware, both of the other sub-channels are still available for you to watch videos from here on YouTube. He's still making content. But like I said, he's lightening his workload because he's finding it too difficult to juggle his actual acting career with his YouTube hobby. And that is completely understandable. So Adam, mate, if you're watching this, let me know in the comments below if I've actually explained that well. And I hope you've enjoyed this video if you've watched it, or if you are watching it. I shout out my favourite YouTubers, and this is how I do it. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe, and until next time, thanks for watching and have a magical time. Hey guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, where it's time to get back to those little entities in our heads for our next adventure with Riley Anderson and her friends Bree and Grace. That's right, guys. Inside Out 2. Now, if you haven't seen this film yet, then you'll want to click away. Spoilers ahead. For those who have seen the film and just want to know my opinion, well, that's what this is for, so you're in luck. Riley Anderson is now 13 years old and is about to go off and attend a hockey camp, an ice hockey camp. And all the while this is going on, inside her head, we are introduced to some new emotions, and the console gets upgraded. The new emotions we're introduced to are anxiety, orange, female, and a constant mess. Envy, small, green, female, and exceedingly jealous. Embarrassment, this large pink monster thing, constantly trying to hide himself away. And boredom, who's French for some reason. And we also meet Nostalgia, this old granny looking white figure. And the adventure inside Riley's head this time is they're trying to get back to headquarters to stop the new emotions from ruining her. While out in the real world, she's just found out that Bree and Grace, who are new characters in this film, are going to different high schools. And this makes her feel somewhat abandoned. Well, she hangs out with the captain of the high school hockey team. And kind of acts all big about herself and starts being sarcastic about what she actually likes. And yes, we're introduced to some new locations within Riley's mind in this film. The vault where all her dark secrets are kept, and spoiler alert, as well as I guess that one. The sarcasm. Okay. Um Pretty much tells itself. It makes anyone who speaks near it sound sarcastic. So yeah, all our original 5 emotional entities are back for this adventure, and it's Joy who is trying to get them back up to headquarters after they're sent down to the vault. Um, and we're introduced to this thing called Riley's sense of self, which is what's being corrupted by the new emotions, specifically by anxiety. Now, and this is all set off by a puberty alarm that is added to the console in headquarters. Yeah, in headquarters. Okay. um, well, how does the film end? You'll have to watch it for yourselves. I'm not going to tell any more. And so, with that, guys, my opinion of Inside Out 2, one of the best films I've seen this year, and as a sequel to one of my favourite Pixar films, one of my favourite Pixar sequels. You should have expected that. Anyway, guys, we're sticking with the family films for the next review. For another film I went to see over the summer, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time. Oh hey guys, welcome back to Semajical Reviews, the review show here on the channel where I'll review anything from films up to toys, occasionally, mainly films and TV shows. Speaking of films, Harold and the Purple Crayon. Do any of you guys remember seeing that in the cinema over the summer? I sure do. Harold and the Purple Crayon is a 2024 fantasy adventure film. And spoilers for those who didn't spoilers ahead for those who haven't managed to see it yet. But this film is about the adventures of a man named Harold, obviously, and his friends who come into our world through a doorway he draws with his magic purple crayon. And why has he come into our world? Well, simply, he's looking for the man who created him. In other words, he's looking for his daddy. Yeah, he's looking for his daddy. And to guide him on this adventure, he uses his purple crayon to draw to draw things like a bike, and also he has a young boy joining him on the adventure, and whose mum agrees to put him up in their house while he's looking for his daddy. And the librarian who helps him out on this adventure, who is also a fantasy author, well, yeah, actually manages to track down the man who wrote the book that Harold and his friends are characters in. And the twist, okay, he turns out to be, I'm not going to say anymore. You'll have to watch the film for yourselves if you haven't yet to find out how it all ends. It's an epic fantasy adventure, though, and a different form of magic altogether. And it's definitely a brilliant film. I went to see this with Darren over the summer, and we're both of the same opinion. So, that's the quota of films I've seen over the summer now filled for these reviews. Except one, but I'm planning to do a whole franchise review on this specific franchise, so I'll have to wait. So we get into some horror reviews next time, guys. And we're going to kick those off with my review of Omen 3, The Final Conflict. Oh yeah. Until then though, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Pardon me. Hi guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, the show where I review mainly films and TV shows, but occasionally some books and toys as well. And it's movie time here on the show again tonight, but we're going to be reviewing a horror movie. Oh yeah! And that horror movie would be 1981's Omen 3, The Final Conflict, from 20th Century Fox. Now, in this film, spoilers for those who haven't seen it yet, Damien Thorne is 32 years old and he's just been made the ambassador to the court of St. James, like Robert Thorne was in the first film. And he's now also the owner of Thorne Industries. And in this film, he sets up a disciple of the Watch after he decides to KIA. Yeah, after he decides to do something very horrible to young people of a very young certain age. KIA them. And, well, I'm not going to spoil the ending you'll have to see what happens at the end for yourselves. For a third for a third installment into a movie series of any kind, well, this is actually a good third horror film installment. And guys, next time I will be going back, you get it, to review, well, we'll be jumping ahead to 2024 next, and I'm going to be reviewing the prequel to the whole saga here, The First Omen. So we'll take us back in time in terms of the timeline. So until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time. Hey guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, where it is now time to go back in time in terms of the timeline setting of the film. But we stay in 2024, the time of the film's release. Yes, it's time to enter prequel territory once again, guys. And this time the prequel is The First Omen. But James, do I hear you crying? Haven't you already seen and reviewed the First Omen film? Yes, I have, but that's not what this film is. The First Omen, as I've just said, is a 2024 horror film, supernatural horror film, that serves as a prequel to the 1976 film, The Omen. And for those who haven't seen it yet, there will be some spoilers ahead. You've been warned. So if you decide to stay, don't crucify me. Okay. But this film tells the story of a young nun who becomes a teacher in a Christian girls' private school, where she meets a young girl who behaves very strangely, and they suspect her of being the Antichrist. But as time goes by, spoilers, we actually learn that it's this nun who was the original Antichrist. Now, she is the mother of the boy we follow the life of in the original 3 films. So the film takes place in 1971, in the events leading up to Damien's birth. And so the nun discovers, the young nun discovers that all the other nuns she works with are Satanists. Big surprise. But it's still, you know, for a prequel to an old film from the 1970s, it tells the story well and actually leaves it open for a sequel of its own. But now you might be thinking, wouldn't The Omen from 1976 be the sequel to this story? We'll have to wait and see. That's what we'll have to do. But it is one of my favourite films I've seen this year. And guys, that's it for the horror movie reviews for now. There will be more down the line. But until then, there will be reviews of non-horror related stuff coming up. Not to say the least of which, pardon me, will be happening, well, the first of which will be happening in the next episode from this one. You'll have to wait and see what I'm going to be reviewing though, because I shan't reveal it here. So, that is it. And then, so, if you guys have seen this film, what did you think? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a magical time. Oh, hey guys, and welcome back to Semajical Reviews, where it is time once again to dive into the world of South Park for my review of Season 10 of that show. This is Season 10 as a whole, by the way, not episode by episode. So this season of South Park originally aired over on Comedy Central in the US in 2006 for 14 episodes, bringing its total to 153 episodes across the 10 seasons. And some of the storylines in this episode include Cartman being put through all the nanny reality TV shows and then failing to get him to behave, So his mum resorting to the the dog whisperer. That storyline is in the episode Tst. And then in this season, we also have Satan throwing a massive Sweet 16 Halloween party. Really, it's a party that is done in the style of one of those Super Sweet 16 birthday parties you see on reality TV shows. And refusing to let anyone not wearing a coloured wristband or a costume into the party, which he's holding at the W Hotel. That storyline is in Hell on Earth 2006. And then one of my personal favourite storylines in this season is Cartman being too impatient to wait for the Nintendo Wii to come out. Yes, this was coming out at the same time the Nintendo Wii was. So he freezes himself and wakes up over 500 years into the future and has to deal with a bunch of sea otters and a war against atheism. Or the war of atheism. What atheists should call themselves. It's a Buck Rogers parody at its core. And this is a two-part storyline. Go 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 and Go 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 12. Okay. And then, of course, we have an excellent episode that was made as part of a team-up promotion between Blizzard Games, or Blizzard Entertainment, to promote World of Warcraft. And this is about the boys trying to play World of Warcraft and always getting killed by a seasoned player. So they complain to the developers of the game to get the player banned from the game servers because he's not playing according to the world's rules. In the end, well, I don't want to spoil it for you. And that storyline is Make Love Not Warcraft, and most of the episode was made with the game engine of World of Warcraft. Yeah. So what you're seeing is the actual gameplay of the characters in the show in Azeroth. Now, I'm not a fan of World of Warcraft, but I thought the episode was really well made. As a whole, this whole season is a banger from start to finish. I know I might have said that about every other season I've reviewed so far, but I mean it about this one. Or, well, and I said that as well, but yeah, you know, I might have done anyway. But following tradition of giving brief overviews and reviews of whole seasons of South Park rather than episode by episode on the show. There you go. And then highlighting my favourite episodes and storylines from each season. So, guys, what are your opinions of South Park Season 10 if you're a fan of the show? What are your favourite episodes? And let me know in the comments below. Join me again next time I won't tell you what I'm going to be reviewing next time. You'll have to wait and see. But until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. I trust you guys are familiar with this particular series. It's time to get back to the Harry Potter reviews, guys. Yeah, that's right. For the 7th and penultimate, well, for the last book in the series, but the penultimate film, this is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, and my review of the first half of the 7th book and its film adaptation. So, my review of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. Now, the first half of the book covers from the Dark Lord's ascending, or the Dark Lord ascending, up to the skirmish at Malfoy Manor, the first half and a bit of this book. And the reason I'm telling up to there is because the Part 1 film adaptation mainly covers from the Battle of the Seven Potters, but does open at Malfoy Manor, up to the skirmish at Malfoy Manor, but mainly focuses on the Golden Trio camping in the wilderness and, yeah, at the start of their Horcrux hunt. So the chapters that it doesn't fully show the Dark Lord ascending. It completely skips out on In Memoriam and the Dursleys departing. Yeah, as in completely skips out. They filmed a scene with Dudley and Harry reconciling for the film, but they were too chicken to keep it in. Okay. um, and also, I've just realised now that my opinion of all of this is going to have to come in the part 2 review. So, yeah. The film begins with the Battle of the Seven Potters being one of the main focal points, and then goes to Bill and Fleur's wedding, and then starts the Horcrux hunt. And ends with them getting taken by Snatchers, and with the skirmish at Malfoy Manor. So guys, this is where we're gonna have to take a breather, and I'll see you in part 2, where we cover the second half of the book, and I'll give you my opinion of the story as a whole. So stay tuned. And so we carry on with the Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows review, guys. So we pick up in the book from where we left off at the skirmish of Malfoy Manor, and our next stop is to Shell Cottage, where we read about the tragic death of Dobby, and then from there we get a bit of one lore, and then we go to the Gringotts break-in and see how almost disastrous that ends up being. From there, we then head back to Hogwarts, where the battle commences, the Battle of Hogwarts, during which we also learn the rest of Snape's backstory, so we get that closure given to us. And we also witness Harry's heroic sacrifice and the Battle of Hogwarts itself, and the final showdown between Harry and Voldemort. So that's the book ends on the floor in the plan, which is the final chapter of the book. But then we go into an epilogue showing the characters 19 years after the fact, and all is well. And that is, well, I said I was going to give you my opinion on it all as a whole. So, into the Part 2 film adaptation from 2011. This film picks up at Shell Cottage. So, yeah, where we witness the sad death of Dobby. And then we witness the Gringotts break-in. And then we head straight to the Battle of Hogwarts, during which all the same stuff proceeds to happen as it does in the book. But now, we have some differences to point out. In the book, Voldemort dies as a man. They got him dying like a god here for some reason in the film. And another difference. Now, how does Harry get rid of Professor Dumbledore's wand? If you say he snaps the wand in half and chucks it away, no, he doesn't. That's just how he gets rid of it in the book, in the film. In the book, he ridiculously enough, returns the wand to Professor Dumbledore's tomb. Harry, Harry, Harry. What are you doing? The wand has been stolen from there once before. What makes you think it won't happen again? Yeah, I should have mentioned that in the part 1 of this review, the previous episode. So, we have our happy ending as per the book, here translated to the screen. And now, my opinion. What do I think of this story as a whole? Over the 1 book and the 2 films that are based on it, fantastic. It's actually one of my favourite books and films, or film adaptations, in the whole series. Now, while part 1 was mainly just them camping, as I mentioned in that part of the video, in that episode, this film adaptation has all the action. The Battle of Hogwarts. Pardon me. And the daring escape from Gringotts on the back of a dragon. Mwah! So all in all, as I said, a fantastic film adaptation of a fantastic book. And there you go, guys. That's the 7 books and 8 films of Harry Potter, the main series, reviewed here on Semajical Reviews. Will I be reviewing Fantastic Beasts next? Not straight away. I'm gonna wait until a bit down the line to review those films. As for what I will be reviewing next, you'll have to wait and see. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have us a magical time. Well, guys, what do you get when a brother and sister are taken into the Playmobil world and go on an unforgettable adventure? You get Playmobil, the movie. The subject of tonight's review here on Semajical Reviews. Now, the film tells the story of a brother and sister who are sucked into the Playmobil world, where the brother is taken hostage by a figure from the medieval set, or a figure who's taken over the medieval set, so this is the villain of the story, and his sister embarks on an adventure to save him. Now, before this adventure begins, before any of it begins, we're treated to an opening scene of the boy when he's young and his teenage sister. So he's being babysat by his teenage sister. And he likes to play with Playmobil toys. And she finds him annoying. No surprises there. Then they get a call from the police informing them of an accident on the road which involved their parents. Now, of course, we don't actually hear the conversation, because before we can hear it, now the parents die in the car crash, I'll just say that. But before we hear the conversation, the film jumps forward a few years, and the sister is now her brother's surrogate parent. And it's at this point that they're sucked into the Playmobil world and go on their adventure. Now, I actually thought this movie was a hell of a lot of fun. And hell yes, I'd watch it again. Anyway, I think that'll be it for this review. And I'll ask you to join me for the next episode, but you're not going to know till then what it's going to be a review of. So guys, until next time, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and have a magical time. You're off to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Oh, wait. No, we're going way back in time for this one. That's right, guys. Spoilers ahead for the next review. Wicked. Here. On Semajical Reviews. So, without further ado, let's get in with it. And let's break it into categories. First, here's the story. Well, the film opens up as a follow-on from the end of The Wizard of Oz 1939 film. The Wicked Witch is dead, and Glinda then tells the story of how she and Elphaba, that's the witch's name, by the way, were friends. And it takes us right back to the birth of Elphaba, who was born with green skin and is cast out by her family at birth and is left to be raised by her nanny. And then, well, it jumps forward a few years to see how her sister ended up as a paraplegic. And then it jumps forward to the main story at Shiz University when Galinda first arrives as a student and in the same class as Elphaba herself. And also, we have a transfer student as well called Fiero. And this is where we meet the whimsical staff of Shiz University. And we then go on an adventure with Gerlinda and Elphaba, as Elphaba is first taken on as a prodigy of her teacher, Miss Morrible. And during the history classes, Gerlinda gets frustrated by their mispronunciation of her name. Sorry, I mean mispronunciation of her name. Yes. How they pronuncified some words in this film. Okay. um and then having to be corrected because she's not saying a word that actually exists. So the history professor's a goat, by the way. Like a literal goat. Anyway, Elphaba and Galinda are made roommates, and when Elphaba requests that Galinda is accepted onto her magic course. So at the dance that evening, Miss Morrible approaches her and gives her a training wand, but she has no faith in her. Now when Elphaba receives a letter inviting her to the Emerald City to go and meet the wizard, she invites Galinda to go with her. So the two friends hop on a train and head to the Emerald City, wanting to share the experience with her. But it's during this visit that Miss Morrible turns up, and she and the wizard concoct this story, this rumor, that Elphaba is wicked. Shock horror! After all, she does become the Wicked Witch, but and she uses dark magic to turn normal monkeys into flying monkeys, so that's how they're created. Yeah, from a book called The Grimoire. I think they're trying to say grimoire, but they call it the Grimoire. But the Book of Dark Spells. Anyway, so after the rumor is then spread, Elphaba has to go on the run. because now everyone in Oz thinks she's wicked. And that's where the story ends on a cliffhanger. But part 2 won't be till next November. So, yeah. Okay. So, the next thing to talk about, well, no, my opinion of the story is a good story, actually. One of the best stories for a prequel I've heard. So now, on to the characters. So, let's first get on with talking about our main characters here. And those two main characters, I guess 4 main characters. Okay, so the first of our main characters is Alphaba. The the main, well, you'd say the character of the title normally. Um, a young witch with green skin who only seems to make things happen when she gets angry. And this would not be a good character review if I didn't tell you about the actress who plays her, so... Yeah, played brilliantly by Cynthia Ivaro. If that is not how you pronounce her name, then correct me in the comments below. Our next... Yeah, now, our next main character to talk about is Galinda. Now, of course, Elphaba goes on to become the Wicked Witch of the West. Galinda eventually goes on to be Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. And she is quite the whimsical fairy type character you see as the Good Witch in The Wizard of Oz, the 1939 film, who sends Dorothy off on her quest. So, and she shows in this film just how naive she is about the things around her. But that's what makes her such an endearing character. And yes, she is played by the one and the only, well, Ariana Grande. And that's Ariana Grande Butera. Okay. Now, our next main character is Fiero Tiglia, or Tigla, a prince from Winky Country, who meets Alphaba and Glinda when he transfers to Shiz University and tries everything he can to become friends with them. And he is played by Jonathan Bailey. Now, he's okay as a character, but when his whole character's just trying to... Well, he's actually a love interest of Glinda. But he fancies Alphaba. Shock horror. Okay. And our other main characters, including... Okay, yeah, we have... I think I should just point this out. Peter Dinklage plays the role of the GOAT history professor, Mr. Dillamond. That's pretty mad, if you ask me. And he does a good job at it. Now, okay, the other main character, the other two main characters, we have Madame Morrible. I've been calling her Miss Morrible for the whole video here. Madame Morrible. Oh no, I think I should point out. Sorry, Nessa Rose Throp, the younger sister of Alphaba, who later goes on to become the Wicked Witch of the East. And as I said before, she's a paraplegic. She's in a wheelchair, and the younger version of her is played by Cecily Collette, but the version of her we see and follow is played by Marissa Bode. Now, Madame Morrible is the Dean of Sorcery at Shiz University, and she's one of the bad guys here. She's one of the ones that plays into the creates the rumor of Elphaba being a wicked witch, and she is played by Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, that is her name, Michelle Yeoh. Okay. um, and then we have the wizard himself, not the not so great and powerful, wise and wonderful here, guys. He's quite the dark character in this movie, and he's the one that actually starts the rumor of Elphaba being wicked. Right after saying he'd be a good father figure to her. Whatever, dude. Whatever, Jeff. Yeah, he's played by Jeff Goldblum. Whatever, Jeff. Whatever you say, mate. Okay. um. But is still he does an excellent job playing this role. Okay, guys. Now, this is a musical, so what's the last thing I should be reviewing before giving my final thoughts of the film? Of course, the musical numbers. So the music of the film, okay, the music of the film, it features some of the best songs any musicals had in years, and those songs I'm gonna actually... The songs include Popular and... Okay, it's based on the play by Stephen Schwartz and Winnie Holzman, which in turn was based on the Gregory Maguire book, Wicked. Although It would, yeah, popular, yeah. Oh, the Grimiri. That is actually the name of the book, so I got that wrong. I genuinely did think they were trying to say grimoire, though. But no, it is the Grimiri. And then the flying monkeys are created throughout the song Defying Gravity. And the song One Short Day is set to them going to the Emerald City, where they affirm their friendship. And then I'm Not That Girl. Okay, so Popular is the main song of the film then, guys. And the Oz Dust duet. Okay, let's just say all of the songs featured in the film are toe tapping fun. Now, guys, with that being said, with all of these categories reviewed, it's time for my final thoughts. So my final thoughts on the film as a whole. It's a fantastic film. I do highly recommend going to see it. And by the way, guys, I did give you a spoiler warning at the beginning of the video. So I don't want to see any comments saying, oh, I was going to go and see this next week. Thanks for spoiling it. Because you were warned. And you didn't have to stay and watch. So no, you have no sympathy from me there if you did stay and watch despite the warning. Anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. Until the next episode, where I don't know what I'm going to be reviewing yet, I will ask you, if you enjoyed this video, to please like, comment, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and have a Semajical time. All you Christians out there, let me ask you a question. When you think of communion, I bet you think of this. That's right. The partaking of wine / water and bread in place in remembrance of the blood and body of Christ, right? But do you ever think of Christopher Walken and Aliens? You know, this. I bet the answer to that straight away is going to be no. But then what if I told you in 1989 there came out a film called Communion, starring Christopher Walken, based on the memoirs of one Whitley Streetle? Okay. Now, you might be wondering what aliens have to do with this story. Well, according to Whitley Streetle, this film was based on actual events that, quote unquote, happened to him. Okay. Um, while on a family trip to a cabin in the woods involving an alien abduction and a probing somewhere that I'm not going to mention. Okay. Now, Christopher Walken plays a character based on the author of the book. Yes, this is based on a book, the memoirs of the author. And he and his family and friends go off to a cabin in the woods in October where they are visited by aliens. And, well, no abduction takes place in the October visit, but they do kind of zap him in the temples with a device. Now, and around Christmas time of the same year, on Boxing Day as a matter of fact, the family are back at the cabin in the woods, and this time Whitley is abducted by the aliens, and they perform that operation I mentioned in the introduction of this video. And then he goes through the whole film trying to work out if he was having nightmares or not. And his son is being played by the same visions. As a matter of fact, at the beginning of the film, it's his son who sees the bright light and nearly gets abducted and screams for help, and he goes down to try and calm him, telling him he's having nightmares. Now, if the plot of this film is starting to sound familiar to you, it's because it was basically mimicked and parodied in the first South Park episode. Yeah, there you go. um, and that was 8 years after this film came out. Only Christopher Walken, Whitley and his wife do attend a meeting of a group for people that have had the same experiences. And he just thinks it is a load of nonsense. And so he walks out of the meeting. Well, actually, he walks out because they think he's going to write a book about them. um, it's a bit of foreshadowing for the end of the film, if you ask me, but you know. But they first think, because they hear he's a writer, they first think he's a journalist. You know, the type of writers that go poking their nose in business that they're not wanted in. Yeah. And as a matter of fact, every time these experiences get brought up between him and his wife, they have an argument, and he goes walking out the door. Okay. I'm sorry, but it's the actor's name that's making me come up with all these puns. I'm so sorry. Okay. Um, so he goes walking from arguments, and he goes walking from a special group meeting. Okay. And in the end, things do kind of get sorted out, and he starts writing the book about the events of the film we've just watched. So, now I only saw this film this morning, as a matter of fact, on YouTube. Yes, some people have uploaded it for us to watch for free. Now, I know the intro to this video was, the introduction to this was me asking the Christians a question, but film buffs, I now pose this question to you. Have you ever seen this film before? Did you ever hear of it before this review? For those who have heard of it, here's my opinion. It's a good film. What's yours? Let me know in the comments below. And for those who haven't, and you like films about alien abduction, give it a watch. I couldn't recommend it highly enough. And that's it for this episode of Semajical Reviews. In the next episode, I'll be reviewing a Christmas film. That Christmas film being a 21-year-old comedy starring Will Ferrell and James Caan. I think you know which one that is. But that's next time, guys. Elf. Until then, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have us a magical time. Well, it's Christmas time once again, guys. And boy, do I have a review for you this year. That's right, I'm not doing Advent Calendar style reviews, it's just the one this year. The 2003 film Elf. That's right. Now, Elf, as I just said, is a 2003 family Christmas fantasy adventure film starring Will Ferrell as Buddy, a human raised by elves who ventures down to New York to find his birth father, who turns out to be this rich, or this executive for a publishing company. He works in the Empire State Building. And at first he wants nothing to do with Buddy, thinking he's a lunatic. Well, yeah, that. Thinking he's a lunatic. But eventually, over the course of the film, he warms up to him. And this is where he also learns he has a stepmom and a half-brother. They warm up. Well, the stepmom accepts him straight away, but the younger brother, the half-brother that is, takes about half the film to warm up to him. But it takes his dad, played by James Caan, by the way, almost the whole film to fully warm up to him. And let's just say, anything Will Ferrell appears in is gonna be a laugh riot. Well, I say that, and this may be one of the only Will Ferrell films I've actually seen. So I need to see more in order to make that perfect judgment on it. But he does add a lot of charm to the film. The charm being he's a human raised by elves. I mean, and he thinks everything around him in New York that's even remotely small or whatever, like there's a little man who is a publisher or an author who comes to the book publishing company, and Buddy thinks he's an elf because he's little. And every time he calls him an elf, the little man gets angry. But other than that, this is a wholesome family adventure and well worth a watch at this time of year. And so with that being said, that is it for the actual description of the story, and I've just given my opinion along with that. This is a fun little Christmas adventure. Well worth a watch at this time of year. But you can watch it any time of year, really. It's a family film. But so right now, though, guys, that is it until after Christmas for these reviews. And upon the show's resummation, that's not a word, James. What are you talking about? And on its return from the Christmas break, I will be reviewing more stuff. Well, obviously. That may not be until 2025. In which case, I'll be reviewing this year as a whole. Pardon me. So, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, and have a Semajical time.